What's up, basketball fans? Welcome to the Rats Report. We got some big news regarding the Toronto Raptors this morning. It was being reported by Brett Siegel that in addition to teams calling about Jaylen Brown, Derrick White has also been targeted by teams with the top 10 picks. The Toronto Raptors recently made an offer involving the ninth pick for White. League sources tell Clutch Points. There's been a lot of rumors surrounding the Toronto Raptors. It is draft night today. And we'll see what happens, but we'll be breaking this rumor down. I will also be discussing why the Raptors may be so eager to move off of the ninth pick as well. So if you are ready to watch this video, make sure to hit the subscribe button. And with that being said, let's get into today's video. And guys, just a heads up, no trivia question and shout outs until probably after a few days, just because there's going to be so much content coming out and I probably won't be able to keep up with all of those things as well. So I will give shout outs to the winner from the last video. But talking about Derrick White, why are the Toronto Raptors so persistent about trading the ninth pick overall and particularly having linked to the Brooklyn Nets? Cam Johnson, there's been chatter about them potentially wanting to trade back as well. Well, one of the reasons when I think the Raptors may want to move out from the ninth pick is a lot of the guys that were projected to kind of go in the ninth spot. Kasparas Jakubonis, you look at someone like Derek Queen as well. Colin Murray Boyles was a player that was potentially being pegged as a top 10, top 12 pick as well. A lot of these guys' stock has actually dropped. Now, I'm not going to say that I wouldn't be excited if the Raptors drafted CMB. I'm still a big CMB guy, even though I originally wasn't when I, watched some of his tape. But I've come to really like him. But why do the Raptors want to move out from the ninth pick? I think it's quite simple. They have certain guys they like that are projected to go in the teens. That's, quite obvious. And that's why when I was talking about some of the prospects, particularly like Igor Demon, particularly like Cedric Howard, and even when I talked about Rasheer Fleming, all of you guys were telling me, well, if the Raptors really want these guys, why don't they just trade back? And it looks like the Raptors are either going to trade that pick for a very impactful player or trying to trade back for that reason alone. And that was one of the reasons. Again, I don't want to say I'm a genius. I don't want to say I told you so. But when I look at some of these players that were projected around the range of where the Raptors are drafting, I wasn't really big on them. Now, I know they're being linked to Noah Essengi as well. I'm not a big Noah Senge, guys. I hate to be, that guy, but I'm not. I just don't see it with him. But anyways, talking about Derrick White, most importantly, why do the Raptors want to trade him? And quickly taking a look at the money situation here, I think that's why the Raptors really want to make this work because they're trying to shed some salary. So taking a look at Derrick White's contract here, he's projected to make $28 million next season. He's going to be 31. And I know what people are thinking, well, he's an aging really high quality role player. Why are we trading for him? Simple reason. The Raptors are going all in right now. And I'll get to this in just a moment. But also, Derrick White isn't really declining. And players don't really decline the way they used to 10 plus years ago when they're in their 30s, right? So $28 million, as you see there, he's got a player option in about 4 seasons from now for $34 million is going to look like a real steal, guys. $30 million the following season, $32.5 million in his third season. And obviously for the Raptors to trade the ninth overall pick, they're also going to have to trade some other players to kind of make the money work as well. So if you're the Toronto Raptors and if you're the Boston Celtics, obviously the Boston Celtics want to shed some salary. So realistically, you're probably going to be treating RJ Barrett here, So RJ Barrett, as you see there, he's got 2 years left on his contract, $27.7 million, $29.6 million. And just overall, I think it's quite evident that the Raptors don't want to extend RJ Barrett, but this is why when the Raptors, I think, originally traded for Brandon Ingram, this was my issue because for a team like the Toronto Raptors, that or whatever, 10th, 11th, 12th finished place, last season, they weren't really in a place to add so much salary to a losing team. And that's why I think they're kind of trying to move off of RJ Barrett in particular. That's why you keep hearing these rumors about Raptors are looking to trade RJ Barrett. So they're having a little bit of a challenging time, obviously, moving off of RJ Barrett's salary situation here, as you see. But if they're going to do it, their logic behind this as well might as well attach the ninth pick and get a really high quality player rather than just trading RJ Barrett for another salary filler or some other pieces as well. So again, it's if you ask me, I really do like Derrick White. It's a little bit of a messy move by Masai Ujiri, but again, quickly to go back on Derrick White here, he's an exceptionally high quality role player, and you look at his stats overall with the Boston Celtics. I mean, the guy went from averaging 15 points last season to 16.4 points, and even the previous seasons, like 3 years ago, he was 28. He averaged 12.4 points per game. He's literally upping his point production while getting older. I mean, that's quite impressive for Derrick White. And I want to point out the fact that you look at his 3-point percentage. That's definitely going to help the Toronto Raptors He helps in the scoring department. He definitely helps with spacing the floor as well. I mean, he shot 38% on nine attempts from the three-point line. And he's been shooting 38 plus percent from the three-point line for three straight seasons. Now, just overall, he's a good three-point shooter. His field goal free throw percentage, excuse me, is also really good. That is a department that the Raptors aren't really good at. So it pretty much allows the Raptors to obviously play him in late game situations. And I do believe an underrated part of his game is facilitating. He doesn't really necessarily get that chance in Boston just because you got so many ball handlers there. You got everyone kind of moving the ball. But as you see there, 5.2 assists last season, 4.8 assists this season. And he is, most importantly, a very good defensive guard. And that is something you need. We've seen it during these playoffs that it's very important to have a defensive first guy that can do what he can on the defensive side, but to be able to do everything that Derrick White does on the offensive side would be a huge get for the Toronto Raptors. Now, to quickly talk about Masai Ujiri, a lot of these moves that he seems to be making almost seems like he's in a rush. And that is never a good thing. He is on an expiring deal himself. So could this be a situation of Masai Ujiri possibly wanting to prove to the owners, the management, that, you know what, he can put together an assembling winning team? That is not the right way to go about things. And we've seen it time and time again, guys, where executives, general managers are on expiring deals and they make silly moves which hurt the future assets to make win now moves, and then all of a sudden the roster looks like a mess. Now, I'm not saying Derrick White is a bad acquisition by any means, but the ninth overall pick, I will say this in regards to that. In the ninth overall pick, you're probably going to have for at least anywhere from 6 to 8 years for the next, several, pretty much the whole decade, guys. And you're going to have him on a reasonable contract. And for a team like the Toronto Raptors, you need that. You don't have the luxury of going into the second apron. Like, I mean, we don't even know what the Raptors look like next season. So as much as I like Derrick White, and I'm actually very, very certain that he is going to fit in with the Raptors really well. This isn't a situation of you're trading for a player, you don't know what he's going to look like on the Raptors. He's going to look really, really good on the Toronto Raptors. But again, I mean, these are the kind of moves you make when you're a fourth, fifth place team and you constantly lose in the second round. And you need these kind of players to kind of push you over the hump to make the, Eastern Conference Finals. I'm not saying Derrick White is a player that's going to take you to the championship, but these are the kind of improvements that teams that, constantly lose in the first, second round look to add to their roster. And it seems like the Toronto Raptors are just really rushing overall their roster makeup to kind of just throw a bunch of guys together and hope it works out. Look, I know Derrick White is great, but the big question is the health issues with the Toronto Raptors. So again, I'm not a huge, huge fan of trading the ninth pick for Derrick White, even though I like Derrick White. The Raptors have to, at least at the very least, make the playoffs, see what this team looks like, and then you can talk about making moves like this. So again, a very rush move, if you ask me. And personally, I just do not want to give up the ninth pick, even if it is for someone as good as Derrick White, a very high quality role player. The third, fourth best player on your championship team. It genuinely does not make sense to me. So what are your thoughts on this? Do you want to trade the ninth overall pick for Derrick White? And again, most likely it'll be RJ Barrett going the other way as well. And obviously the Boston Celtics, they have moved a bunch of pieces like Drew Holiday. They have moved off of Kristaps Porzingis. Could they possibly tank? They're looking at, potentially listening for trade offers for Jaylen Brown. Apparently, the Utah Jazz are making a very aggressive move, which shouldn't come as a surprise considering Danny Ainge and his son are kind of running the show there as well. So again, I'm very curious to hear your thoughts. Again, no trivia question, guys. I'm just making so much content right now. I'll be live streaming for tonight's draft as well. So make sure to check that out. But what are your thoughts on this? Would you do this deal or not? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. And that will be it for today's video. So thank you so much for watching. And I hope you guys have yourselves a great day.